This episode of the MOC Squad was filmed in front of a live, members-only audience. Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. I may have to take over for Rob here because Rob is doing a bit of a split personality thing going on today. Rob, are you currently in two streams at once?
Yes.
I'm not even sure if Rob is responding to my question or not.
As I have to explain to people, because I'm on two streams, on my membership stream,
yes,
I am currently right now on the Heel versus Babyface channel on YouTube right now, streaming with Az. We brought back our show What Toys on his channel, and I've never done this before, but I'm actually live streaming on two different YouTube channels at the same time. Look,
you're even celebrating your ability.
And I want to thank everybody for watching Hot Toys. It was a lot of fun. Great seeing Az's displays that he's worked so hard on. And if you're not salivating over his Transformers collection, what kind of a person are you?
Is it a collection? Would you say that it's more than meets the eye?
Az's collection is more than meets the eye. That was the question that Roberto Suarez asked me on the other channel. So yes, Az's collection, he's got the power.
Nice. All right. Well, Rob, we have a good number of folks waiting for us here on the member call. But before,
so Az, I must jump.
All right. Gonna let Rob say goodbye over there. I think Rob just wanted to make sure it was possible to be in both streams at once. Because if he can be in two streams at once, then perhaps he can be in 5 or 10. You can spread like a virus, Rob.
Oh, we'll do it fully articulated. Yeah, I did an unboxing of a Vice Press poster. So Roberto's my moderator, my host of the show is going, what's going on? What's going on? I'm broadcasting on two channels. I'm still talking on this other channel. Anyway, so I will go, Az. Thank you. This was so much fun. And buy toys. And remember, if you have to ask yourself whether you should, the answer is always yes.
I feel like I'm at the end of the conversation. Like somebody's on the phone in front of me, and I can't.
Okay, I'm back to you. I'm back to you, Roberto. But that was wild streaming at the same time.
Are we
here?
Do we have you here fully now, Rob?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes, you have me here. You had me at hello.
I felt a little disjointed at one point before we started, just to let our
totally discombobulated.
Yeah, I was just
that was wild though.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to us? I couldn't quite tell what was going on.
It was weird. I couldn't even tell who I was talking to. Who am I talking to? I don't know.
Rob, before we start, I wanted to bring up a little bit of a controversy that I saw you drop this on Instagram, and I wanted to give you my 2 cents on it.
Okay.
And that is the new Superman logo.
Oh.
So
I put up a picture of my Superman figure.
You put up a picture, and you also said how much you love the Kingdom Come logo. And I wanted to come out and say the same thing, that I love the Kingdom Come logo, and that to me, my issue with the Superman logo has always been, actually since the Christopher Reeve era, has been that originally the reason Schuster and Siegel came up with the Superman logo was an S was because it was the S for Superman, right? I mean, it wasn't until 78 when we see Jor-El wearing the S symbol that this idea that it looks like an S, but it is the symbol of the House of El, really.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
But to me, I've always had a problem with that, because it's one thing for a symbol to look like an S, and it's another one for a symbol to be exactly an S. So to me, what I like about this symbol is that you could say it's some kind of an alien symbol, but at the same time, it could be interpreted as an S. And I wouldn't be surprised, Rob, if that plays into the story. If at some point somebody comments to Superman, hey, what's up with the S on your chest? And he's like, what S? And then maybe I wouldn't be surprised again if by the end of the movie he has altered it to look more like an S. So then it's like,
right,
it's the symbol of the House of L, but now it's been almost like he has been kind of acculturated to being of Earth now. So now he represents it as an S symbol. So I think people don't need to get too attached to it. And then if we ever come back in this new DCU into the Kingdom Come story, I can see him coming around to the symbol as something that he would kind of hold on to, as part of that story, right?
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for those of you who are hating on the Kingdom Come symbol, give it a chance, because I think it's going to be actually playing into the story. I don't think it's the only symbol we're going to see. Well,
first of all, what I don't get is we've seen how many variations on the Superman logo, the S logo, a million times. So why not do something different? Plus, I love Kingdom Come. I read it when it first came out. I love that story. I've got the absolute version. I have, can you see it? Sitting on my shelf right back there. There is an action figure right there of a Superman with the Kingdom Come logo. And by the way, I haven't put her up there, but I have the Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 84 Hot Toys with the golden armor, also from Kingdom Come. So I'm gonna have them standing there, together.
And from the get-go, James Gunn has been using Kingdom Come imagery, even when he had just been announced. So we know that it's an inspiration for him. So
100%.
And there's even a comic book called Superman and the Authority. We know James Gunn loves the Authority, and in that comic book, he also uses the Kingdom Come logo. So
yes, he does. By the way, this is Silk Spectre. I'm just playing with my little Silk Spectre.
Anyway, enough of my soapboxing on the Superman logo. I love the Kingdom Come logo, and I think we're going to be seeing more than one logo. I think it's going to be the beginning of his crafting his image, and I like the idea that he then turns it into an S as a way of kind of representing going from Kryptonian to human, to Earthling, right? So. All right.
I agree.
We are going to go ahead and
let
all of our people in. And we do have a request, Rob. Our first person coming to chat with us today is going to be Major Chai Chai, because I think she has a costume to show us.
She does. Yes. Major Chai Chai has finished her Witch King of Agmar suit.
And I believe she's on her way to the con where she's going to be competing. So let's go ahead and let everybody in. And
I made her wait too long. She's probably late for the con already.
I don't think so. I think we're good. We're letting everybody in. Remember, folks, if you want to share a comment, if you want to have a chat with Rob.
By the way, I just want to point out that a little bird told me that Irene Jobson is 69 days sober today. You know what that means? That means somebody gets a drink, but not of liquor.
That means congratulations to Irene. That means
that's right.
Congratulations to her.
Time for Irene's hubby to get a little drink on tap, if you know what I'm saying. All right, I know you do. And I've, been drinking water.
All right, so let me go ahead and find Major Chai Chai here so that we can have her start us off. She had asked me ahead of time. Let me see.
I've just gotten this stream totally demonetized. Demonetized.
That's on you, Rob.
It is on me. I apologize for demonetizing.
Here she is. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, hold on. I just lost her. Oh, there you go. There you are. I'm going to go ahead and add Major Chai Chai here. And Major Chai Chai, you should be able to join us now. Welcome. Ho!
In a world.
See if I can get this right.
Oh. That's very disturbing.
I'm not all kitted up yet.
I'm very disturbed by the fact that we can't see your face.
It is kind of creepy, isn't it?
That is so creepy.
Let me see.
Wow.
I can't, the delay, I can't tell.
You know what? That is really disturbing. Just to not see your lovely face. Wow, that's pretty good. Look at that. Now, do something with, oh, yeah, there we go. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That is really impressive. So you're going to the convention today?
Yeah, I was there this morning. Can I take this? I feel like Doomcock and not in a good way.
You can take it off now. But it looks lovely.
So, yeah, I was at the convention this morning and got judged. And so the
Guilty.
finals is this afternoon.
All right.
And there was and every woman's worst nightmare happened. There's another witch king.
Oh
And
no.
she was taller, thinner, and had better accessories.
Yeah, that's when your skill comes into play.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it. But I mean, it looks great. The costume looks great. And I love the fact that you can't see your face.
Yeah, that was part of it, is like, I mean, that's what makes the Witch King so creepy, is
It's great.
visualization.
And that's why when his face like folds in, it's terrifying.
Yes.
Gets a sword. Actually, it would have been pretty funny if you made an accessory where a sword was sticking out of your head. But that would
be hard to maneuver around.
Yeah.
Believe me, I almost poked my son's eye out with these things.
Did he go with you to the convention?
Yeah, he was my squire.
Oh, nice. The Witch King's.
Fast, but I had him carry things for me, so it didn't ruin my look.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So
nice. Well, that's very impressive.
Thank you.
I wish you good luck in getting judged. You get to go find out who wins today.
Yes, at 5 o'clock.
All right. Well, all of our hopes. All of our hopes.
All right, I'll give you an update.
Yeah, come back. We'll probably still be talking.
Yeah, well, no, I think you'll be done by then. But
yeah,
but the next one.
The next one, yes. Well, it'll be a cliffhanger.
So
it'll be a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So you want to see what I picked up while I was there?
Yes, I do. Ooh, now that's the new one, isn't it?
This is the Playmates.
Yeah, that's the new Playmates Enterprise D. How is that?
It's fun. Let me see. I mean, it still works.
Oh, is that an old one? It's not the new one?
It's not the new one.
Oh, wow. So that's classic. That you're going back a ways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I found this because I brought it up here so I could show you. Oh, there went my sword. Oh, well. I've had this guy with me since 1993 in college.
Wow.
So when I saw the Enterprise,
I still have mine. I have my was that the Vorcha class attack cruiser? Or that's I love that's a great, very accurate representation of the model. That I love that. So, I just wish it came with a stand.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask the 3D printer person at work if he'll make me some stands for these.
Right. Yeah.
So that they're not sitting awkwardly in the cabinet.
Right. It's just odd because you can't unless you hang it, which you can, because what's great about that is the power buttons are very. Oh, is that your ornithopter? That's about where mine's at too.
Well, I told you I keep breaking the cockpit.
Oh, I got my lighting set for it.
Yeah, you mentioned that, but I built it and I started playing with it because I got to play with it, and I keep breaking the cockpit, and so I've had to reconstruct the cockpit like 2 or 3 times. Yeah,
I stopped building it because so here's the lighting kit with all the lights. So you've got the battery pack and I guess the remote control, but this is pretty involved. I mean, there's a lot of little LEDs and stuff, and it's
I think I would cause my ornithopter to disintegrate if I was mucking about with all those lights.
Yeah, it's pretty neat though. So I'm gonna get back on it now that I have the lights. So my ornithopter, I can actually say let there be light, and there will be, which is good. So
yeah.
Well, good luck today.
Thanks. And I had super chatted you about the Andromeda strain, and
Yes.
you had replied fit more with the invasion of the body snatchers.
Right.
And I thought about that, and I'm going to have to disagree. But I would pair it with War of the Worlds. As a point.
I could see that because, you know, the Martians get killed by a disease.
Yeah.
In that movie. I could see that. The thing about the Andromeda strain is when I was a kid, that might have been the most terrifying. That opening scene was one of the most terrifying things ever. And then they find the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, I was like, that. It's still that. By the way, that movie's still great.
Yeah, I mean, I had watched it a couple weeks ago, and I introduced my son to it, and he wants to go into biosciences. I knew he was hooked when he was like, "Are they going to survive?" I'm like, "You have to watch the movie."
Yeah, I mean, it's great stuff.
What freaked me out was when you watched it grow on the microscope and
terrifying,
pulsating there. That freaked me out.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I always wanted the disease to escape though, and then they could make a sequel. But what can we do?
Yeah,
can't do it anymore. But yeah, it's a great movie. And Robert Wise, director of Sound of Music, director of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, West Side Story, Curse the Cat People. He edited Citizen Kane. So one of our great creatives.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that movie. Love the book.
It's great. And that was Michael Crichton's first novel.
Yeah. And I knew that was his first.
Yeah. And it immediately got adapted into a movie.
Yeah.
So it's just not bad.
All right,
not bad.
Time's running out.
All right. Well, it's good to see you. And then congratulations. And I hope that you win today.
And I have more pictures. So just tell me where to send them and I'll send more pics.
Oh, yes. Well, send them to my email. I'll just send you my email.
Okay.
And here, I'll put it in the chat. Where's the chat? Chat's right here. I can put it here. Here's my email. Everybody use it.
Yeah, put it in.
Send me pics.
Put it in the Zoom chat. So
I put it in the Zoom chat.
It's right
there. You go. It's in the meeting chat. Right. Send me your. Don't send me your scripts. Send me your pics.
I'll send me pics.
Send me your scripts. No, don't do that.
All right, Major Chai. Good luck with the contest.
Thank you, Roberto, for letting me go first.
Of course. Sure thing. Take care.
Bye, Rob.
See you later. Enjoy.
All right. Where did she go? Oh, yeah, I just lost Major Chai here. Here we go. Boom. Okay. Now, next up, Alon Abadi is joining us. So welcome, Alon.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Shalom.
Are you under fire yet from the Islamic Republic?
Not yet, but we're waiting. That's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what you guys have to just even thinking in those terms.
I lost control. I'm no longer even trying to like comprehend the reality.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I can't comprehend the reality of all the useful idiots here in the West that don't understand what is at stake. But
it's hard for me to follow you because you're operating in a different time zone, and I'm constantly on your side. But I wake up and then I see like things that happened over the last 12 hours. It's always insanity,
dude. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. And I think I'm pretty measured in my responses. And there are things I would not, I mean, you can only go so far. And I don't want to start, World War III, but I'm constantly amazed. You know what it is? I didn't really get to this, but we here in the West, especially people like college age, they don't know anything about history. And everybody, everybody they want to feel good. They want to feel like they're fighting a good fight or something. I get it, but there's you can't take one situation in a vacuum. and say what's going on right now. You can't say, well, and it's clear that a lot of the people that talk about the situation in Israel and Gaza and now with Iran, they have no understanding of history at all. And it's like Israel has been the most measured military response in any of any military in the history of warfare. If you look into even if you look in civilian to casualty, civilian to combatant casualty ratios, less civilians have died than in any war in recorded history.
Look, I'll say that because I want to sum it up. I don't want to like over fixate on that, but I'll say that it's a trend, and we are a nation that endured for thousands of years, and we will endure this.
Yes.
This too shall pass.
Well, yeah, well, I want to come back to the Icon Festival next year. Or maybe this year. If it's,
you're more than welcome.
It's
it's very close to my house. Yeah, you can stay right here.
Can I sleep on your couch?
I hopefully I'll have an extra bed. So yeah.
Oh, I'll sleep on the floor. I don't care. I'll sleep anywhere.
Yeah, sure.
Now let me ask you this: do you? So this was back in 2005. I stayed at a hotel called the Cinema Hotel that was in an old movie theater. Does that still exist?
I think it is, but I'm not sure.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
think I know what you're talking about, but I'm. It might have changed like its name or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just thought it was a cool hotel that it was just like, wow, look at this.
But you know what's great about this week in particular with all of the end of the world coming? I get to escape into like all of these different worlds. Like, have you seen like this week's episode of X-Men 97?
Yeah, how much fun was that?
Not fun at all.
It was not fun at all. I honestly, I've never seen social media reaction videos to an anime. People, I saw when a guy was like crying. He's like, and I'm like, oh my god, like what's wrong with him? He was just crying. He just looks up and goes, this new episode of X-Men 97. And he went back and started crying. And I was like laughing. I mean,
it was incredible. It did trigger some events from the last 6 months.
I can imagine.
I'll say that, but it was very moving and was incredible. I really liked it. I really liked X-Men 97 so far, and I'm really like I'm excited by the X-Men again, which is great. I really look forward to seeing what they're going to do next. It's been so great to have the X-Men again in my life. I never thought I needed them so much.
And you're gonna get Wolverine in a couple months.
Yeah.
Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm super excited about both of them. I think I'm still thinking of like which one of the episodes was best. For me, it's a close competition between the 5th episode and the 2nd episode. With Magneto's speech,
right?
Both of them were incredible. I'm really curious as to know like why they fired that dude who was writing this.
I think they fired him because he had an OnlyFans account.
Who didn't? Come on, between you and I, who didn't?
Well, I don't. If I worked out more, I could start an OnlyFans account.
Who working that?
But I mean, I think he was on OnlyFans. Like
he was on
as a creator. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little weird because he really seemed to have a handle on what they wanted to do. My only criticism was like the whole Madeline Pryor storyline. They could have that in a day, and they didn't have there wasn't like
my only
demons.
Criticism is I want to see more of that.
Yeah, it was too quick, and why was she a demon? They didn't set up like I remember when I think it was X-Men. Was it X-Men 199 when Kulon Gath took over New York City and crucified Wolverine on the X? It's actually a cover. It's an X-Men cover. I love that. I love that storyline. And that was more demon stuff too, but why was she a demon? They didn't explain because there was no demon set up, that it was weird that she was still the demon Madeline Pryor. Which is weird. So
yeah, my biggest criticism is I want more, and I get why we can get more, but I wish they would have added like those 10 more minutes each.
Yeah, I agree.
Could be great. That's it for now. Hope to see you next time
in October. Yeah, I hope to see you as well.
If we're still here.
You're gonna you will, like you said, you will endure.
Yeah.
But I to have to live under this is just, I can't even imagine.
It's a crazy time.
So stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe.
Anyways,
good to see you.
Till next time.
And Rob, the creator of the X-Men show, or the producer guy, my understanding is that his fans only page didn't have any photographic, content
really,
or anything like that. Yeah. What I have heard is that apparently he's not an easy person to work with. That's the piece that I heard.
Yeah, well, that could be valid, but he was terminated very, very quickly.
It was very quickly. Although he did comment on this last episode, he kind of broke his silence on Twitter and commented on the reason behind this episode, and basically how they wanted to use it as the first few episodes to kind of be the connection to the 90s, and then with this episode mark the transition to the post 9/11 era. So,
by the way, I want to say I'm confused in my X-Men history. It's X-Men 251 where Wolverine is crucified. Now, I don't know if that's an Inferno cover. Mark Silvestri. One day I've got to get that. I got to get that slabbed.
We got some super chats and members. Let me go ahead and just quickly run through these. The Richard, it shows him as a new member, although I know the Richard has been a member in the past, but maybe he re-upped his membership recently.
Might have re-upped. Thank you for that. Richard, welcome.
And then Irene Johnson, wishing you a happy birthday, RMB. Thank you for
69, Irene.
We have Red French Onion, also wishing you a happy birthday. In case he forgot to wish you happy birthday on Hot Toys. So thank you so much for that. We have RRTNZ saying, "Hail Bob, Roberto, and PGS. Sorry I can't make
it." Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the $10 New Zealand. It says, "Sorry I can't make it today. I met John Noble at the New Zealand Comic-Con last weekend. Such a great guy. And happy to talk about Lord of the Rings and Fringe. He even snapped into character a few times."
Wow, it'd be cool to see him set himself on fire and run out of the convention hall.
Talk about method acting, right?
There you go.
Christopher Carrillo for $4.99. Thank you, Christopher. Says, "Rob, will you be doing Midnight Musings still? I really enjoy you with that panel, and it helps me with my job because I work at night."
Yes, and by the way, I think Alon Alon did say yes. In fact, the X-Men creator did have a spicy OnlyFans account, and Alon sent us a link, and there is a picture of him. Okay, he's pretty handsome devil. Of course, his junk is covered, but what can you say? Okay. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be making an animated show with Disney, and then also be showing your junk on OnlyFans. No. Call me crazy. But
doesn't quite go with me. I mean, I know Disney is entering our territory, but one step at a time, right?
Yeah, not OF territory yet.
Yeah. Christopher is wondering about Midnight Musings, Rob. Did you have a response for Christopher on that?
We are going to bring Midnight Musings back. It's just a question of getting the band back together, because people have been busy. I did a pretty rambling show last night. It was fun. Yeah. It wasn't Midnight Musings. I miss Lael, and I miss just because I like saying
all right, and then we also have Secular Monk, $5. Thank you, Secular Monk. "I have my master's degree in diplomacy. My master's thesis on the founding of the Israel. There is no good side in this. I respectfully disagree." Okay. I think we could. Let's table that discussion. But
you don't want to have that one now?
I don't know. It's your show. I'm just here to moderate.
Well, why don't we table that now? It's a membership call. It's a celebration of the members.
Of the members, right? but we appreciate your donation, Secular Monk. And then Believe in Yourself has become a member. So thank you, Believe in Yourself. We also believe in you. Thank you for coming.
It is true. We do believe in you.
And another one just came in from Lipstick Train Face. Lipstick Train Face. $1.99. Thank you. And then just commending you, Rob. Great stream last night.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. I didn't know. I sometimes, it's funny. I think sometimes I overplan streams, and I felt like last night was an overplanned stream. Because then I never quite get to say what I really wanted to say in the way that I wanted to say it.
Yeah.
So
overthinking it sometimes it's not a good.
Yeah, I didn't draw the conclusions that I didn't draw the line I wanted to draw, because I get too sidetracked.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll freely admit that, too sidetracked.
Well, we got Modesty Maltese coming up, which is always such a pleasure to have her here. Welcome, Modesty.
Hello there.
Hello.
With my favorite.
Buon compleanno.
How are you?
Tanti auguri, carissimo Roberto.
Oh, now I've lost you.
That was happy birthday in Italian. I did French. Now I did Italian. Next time, who knows?
Oh man. I thought the birthday thing would die, but it has not. It's not dying. It's never dying. And I want to thank everybody for keeping it going. Because
your birthday.
Every day is my birthday. Yeah, which is amazing. Alon says, I'll teach you Hebrew. I forget my Hebrew. I like Dan Bat El Habayit. Ima Ba'a El Habayit. That's all I remember. There in the house.
I can say L'chaim.
L'chaim, yes.
And I can say Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. And then we can sing some songs too.
Have you heard Shana Tova?
That's pretty funny.
Shana Tova. That's hilarious. Find it on YouTube.
That's pretty funny. You know what? I'm going to go find that right now.
It's in Hebrew. I can understand Shana Tova, but the guy is great. Has a voice very, very similar to Monster from Sesame Street.
Yeah, Shana Tova Muppets.
Yeah, Cookie Monster.
Yeah. There it is. Wow, this is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
I got to put this in the chat. This is really funny. Okay, everybody, I'm putting this in the chat. Here's the link. This guy's voice is great. And he's speaking Hebrew. That's very funny. So it's in the chat. You can all watch it. We can all sing along. But so how are things in your neck of the woods?
It's all fine. We had sunshine after 1 zillion gallons of torrential rain. Basically, Edinburgh got twice the amount of rain compared to normal amount of rain, and it's Scotland, so it's basically it's raining all the time. So it's double raining all the time. So London had a sunshiny-ish day today, and we couldn't keep it. So everybody got half naked and went outside. It was like, oh, finally, some vitamin D.
Well, that's good.
I know you guys from California, that doesn't compute in your brain because you have too much sunshine.
Yeah, we have sunshine. I think it's supposed to rain tonight, but we'll have sunshine for 6 months and it won't rain for 6 months, which is good, I guess. Gotta love that.
What I wanted to talk to you about is Apple TV, Apple Plus.
Okay.
Because I'm quite pleasantly surprised with their output lately.
You know what? Very high caliber programming.
Very high caliber. I don't know if anybody has seen Sugar. There have been 3 episodes
It look that's the detective show with
with Colin Farrell.
It looks great. I haven't watched it.
He's great, and there have been 3 episodes so far. Amazing, nice twist in the episode number 3. It kind of leads you this kind of noir situation, you know, but then there is a twist. So it really. I checked the creator. That's Mark Protasevich or something like that. That's the guy who has written Thor. I think.
Yes, he also wrote a pretty good He-Man script called Grayskull that never got made.
Okay, so I mean it's very interesting, very interesting. But I don't know if anybody. It's not. I think it's not a guy's thing, but I don't know if you've seen. It has now ended. It's called The New Look. It's with Ben Mendelsohn.
I'll watch anything he's in.
And Juliette Binoche and Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
He actually plays, and it's all about Coco Chanel. And
I saw it. Yeah.
It's very good.
I saw the trailer for that. It looked great.
It's very good because it doesn't paint Coco Chanel in the best light. But it kind of follows both of them throughout Second World War Paris.
Right.
And Maisie Williams plays Christian Dior's sister. And there is the whole storyline with, you know, immediate family of Christian Dior, because if you are to understand him, you have to understand his relationship, particularly with his sister.
Wow.
But it's really well done. I don't see it high up in kind of Apple TV Plus trending. But yeah, but also I wanted to alert you because you asked me what's up in my neck of the woods. There is a comedy series on Apple TV Plus called let me double check. I think it's Completely Made Up Adventures of Dick Turpin by Noel Fielding. And Noel Fielding is one of British comedians, very successful comedian. He is actually, I live in North London and he lives in the same part of North London. He's very proud local patriot. But Dick Turpin is actually, he was a highwayman here in 18th century, 17th to 18th century.
Oh, wow.
Was a real person. And allegedly, he invented the phrase "stand and deliver your money or your life." And here in our neck of the woods in North London, we still have a street. It's called Hampstead Lane. It used to be a lane through the woods where he used to escape after robbing coaches. And
wow.
There's still a pub where he used to hide. It's called Spaniard's Inn. It's still standing and it's very popular. So actually Noel Fielding created this whole kind of, because he likes surrealism and his humor has elements of surrealism always. So this is quite a good, I had fun. Hugh Bonneville is in that series and kind of plethora of very funny British people, but I'm not sure how that humor will translate
right
on your side of the pond. I'm not.
Well, I mean, I love British humor. You know, I grew up watching like Fawlty Towers and Monty Python.
Is not it. Noel Fielding is very much into surrealism. He looks like a raven.
He's been a host in the British baking show, hasn't he?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I've watched him in the British baking show, so I know him. But that's funny. I mean, I've always thought he was a funny guy.
Yeah, and I've seen some clips on YouTube of previous stuff he's done that is very surreal, very trippy. kind of humor.
I mean, there is IT Crowd with Richard Ayoade, where he kind of has a little cameo that kind of turns the whole show into from IT Crowd into very surrealist situation. If I recall it, he plays a vampire who lives on the other side of the wall of to the office or something like that. But also he has a very surrealist series you can check out called The Mighty Boosh.
That's it.
Oh yeah, I love the Mighty Boosh.
So The Mighty Boosh, this is less.
Oh, well, then yeah, I love the Mighty Boosh is wild.
Yeah, The Mighty Boosh is very out there, but this is more mainstream. But I liked it. It's good fun. It's not the best thing ever, but Hugh Bonneville was actually very funny. And I liked him. He is a villain. He is Lord Grantham from Downton Abbey. Turns
Yeah.
a very funny villain. Very good physical comedy. I really liked it. So yeah, shout out to Apple TV Plus. And I don't know if anybody has watched Manhunt about Manhunt for
about John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I don't. It's a bit too slow and too important, but I'm following it.
I liked it.
Kind of a bit, when it takes me time to watch it and I have to take a break, doesn't,
I understand that.
But it's interesting because I never knew that it was actually not one assassination attempt but several, and this whole, historically, if this is all accurate, it's really fascinating because it means it was actually an attempt to annihilate the whole government, not just.
Yep.
So and that made me wonder whether the surrender was actually a real surrender.
Well, yeah.
Because it kind of coincided. So was it a trickery? What was going on? So it's very interesting from historical point of view. And this guy who plays Booth really makes me hate him.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah, he has done his job well. I really can't stand him. Narcissistic actor, it's very, well played. But anyway, did you tell Dieter, because the time is almost up, did you tell Dieter about Gesamtkunstwerk?
I did not. I need to, and he can't be on the show tomorrow either.
Oh my God.
I know. What am I going to do without him?
I don't know what to tell you.
Thank you, Modesty. Sorry to have to cut
you off.
I don't
know.
We got a few more calls waiting, so we'll move to the next one. But good to see you.
Bye.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
I got to go to the UK and party with everybody. That's what I got to do.
Step away for a moment there, so I can Modesty had a little bit of extra time. So we got Ish coming up next. Welcome, Ish.
Hello, guys.
How's it going, dude?
All right. How's things going?
Busy, working on trying to finish White Devils, trying to get this crowdfunding campaign for Nathan Heller launched. It's pretty cool, getting all the artwork and stuff. So I'm really excited about it. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to sponsor it. When you do a crowdfunding campaign, it's all like, I wonder if somebody's going to be interested in it, because we have the money to make the show, but the whole point of crowdfunding is to get more money to pay more actors, really.
Okay.
To get more name actors. And there's one we really want. And then also, I want to make a box set of 11 vinyl records. So it'll be 10 records of each episode of the show and then the soundtrack album.
Okay.
And something like that would cost, retail is like $400. Now, will anybody want that? I don't know. But I'm going to put it into the crowdfunding campaign because I've done all the research to have it made. So it'd be cool. When I was a kid, I used to love listening to story. I had like Power Records when they had Planet of the Apes, and they had Star Trek, and they had Captain America and the Falcon, which I listened to a million times. I love that stuff. So, I don't know if people are fans of vinyl, but if we don't get enough, we won't make them. But still, you just never know. You never know.
Yeah, I've been going down the rabbit hole. I started watching shows on Tubi, and
Oh,
I realized that I don't mind the commercials because they're not really that long on there.
Right.
And I've watched Sanctuary. I went back and watched Andromeda.
Did you watch all of Andromeda?
Yeah. I watched.
There's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah,
Airwolf.
I went back. Oh, I mean, I was like, wow, I didn't even know this channel existed. I just happened to click it on one day on my TV. It's on there, and it said live TV, and I just pressed the Airwolf episode of Airwolf. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you got me then.
Yep.
That was like one of my favorites back in the day.
Well, the Shout channel on YouTube was running Space 1999 24/7. And
really?
I'm like, I own Space 1999. I got these beautiful Blu-rays, but it was on YouTube, and I just started watching. It's always a mistake when you do that, because then it's like, I'll just watch one more, one more, and another.
That's like when the pandemic first started. I went back and watched Battlestar Galactica, BJ and the Bear.
I loved BJ and the Bear. I loved. Oh man.
Yeah, back when I was younger, like watching BJ and the Bear, I wanted to be a truck driver.
Me too. I want to be Greg Evigan and have a monkey and have a cool painted truck, black and the red and black striped truck. And I love that. What's really interesting too is one of the things that it's frustrating to be on YouTube and talk about all this stuff, because you can only go back so far, and your audience doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So like BJ and the Bear was a show that for whatever reason, I particularly loved it. But if I was going to talk to somebody 40 or younger, they wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about, because BJ and the Bear is a show that has fallen away. Like Airwolf, people know, you can still say, but nobody knows BJ and the Bear.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty successful show.
Yeah. It was good.
It was good.
I enjoyed it. I watched it.
It was in a multiverse because it existed in the same universe as Sheriff Lobo.
Sheriff Lobo. Yep. Yeah, I even went back and watched the old Wonder Woman too.
Oh yeah.
Then I realized, like, wow, this is really bad.
It's bad. It was bad.
It did not age. That show did not age well at all.
Well, they didn't. It's because they didn't take the. What's really interesting, and it's hard to explain this to people, but that show didn't take superheroes. The Incredible Hulk took itself seriously, but Wonder Woman never did.
Episode.
Oh yeah, that was not good. That was not good. I love that it's become. I love it's become a meme. But for the most part, I mean, the Hulk. It was, Bruce Banner or David Banner in the show. He was a tragic character, and they always. I mean, that music at the end, even if that Bear episode, when he walks away and you hear that piano tinkling, it's like, oh, you get all sad. But Wonder Woman was. There's no shred of goodness in Wonder Woman, except Linda Carter herself.
Because some of the things she was doing, I was like, "Are you serious? Like, like, how'd you get caught like that?" Like, oh, that's terrible. I can't watch it. I did watch it through. I did sit through all the episodes. It was just like, wow, it was hard to watch though.
Yeah.
But so what did you think about this last Godzilla movie? Me personally, I loved it. It was perfect for me because I didn't want to hear the people talking.
Right. No, it was.
It was like. All I saw was monsters beating up monsters, and I was so happy. And then I got to watch it in 4DX, 3D 4DX. So the seats were moving, everything. Everybody in the theater was having a good time.
Right.
And just like John said, at the end, one lady just went out and just started like almost bawling in the theater. And everybody started just busting up laughing. I was like, she was like, oh. And everybody just started laughing. It was such a good time.
My only problem with it was I think there was not enough Godzilla for me.
Yeah,
and I think here's the thing. Like I've said, King Kong is a lover. He was in love with Fay Wray. He was in love with Jessica Lange. I mean, so he's like putting Godzilla and Kong in the same movie. Kong is always going to win out because you can do more with him. Yeah. Whereas Godzilla, and I think that I love Godzilla, and I love Kong too. But they, you know what I mean? And there was a lot of Kong, and I think, like you said, it was a really fun movie.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun. And what more? I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah,
And
I got my money's worth. I was actually happy. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Skull Island. I thought Skull Island was a legitimately good movie.
Yeah,
I really liked it. So
that giant spider got me. It gets me every time I watch it.
Oh yeah,
when he stabs that guy through the mouth, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah. So, and we're getting, what else is really good, and it's a shame it's not doing better business, is The First Omen.
Really?
The First Omen is really good. It's really well directed. It's a really, really, really good horror film.
Yeah.
So,
all right, Rob. What's up? So
it's always good to see you, Ish.
Minutes in there. All righty.
Say hi to your mom for me.
Yeah, I sure will. Bye.
All right.
Good to see you, Ish. Thanks for joining us.
And I don't say that in an ironic way. I've actually met his mom.
That's right.
Or was it aunt? Here's your mom, right, Ish? I think. So I love my moms.
Well, what?
My mom had her birthday on the 11th. 2 days ago. She's 85. God bless.
Okay. And
Kevin, are you up? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me, Rob?
I can hear you.
I think we might be having some issues with the stream again. This has been happening. Yeah. So,
dude, it's been happening on my streams too.
I don't know what it is. It's like it gets to a certain time. Yeah, we've got a message from Stubble saying that we might be frozen. So let's see.
Just click on and off. Yeah. It'll come back.
Let me see. So we're gonna try to come out of here and come right back. Let's try this.
Oh, Bunny Tails Reacts reviewed the Doomsday Machine today. I'm gonna watch that.
Let's see. So hold on, folks. We're gonna try to see if I can reset this.
I have, there's a whole new genre of YouTubers, like these hot women reviewing Star Trek episodes. I feel guilty because they're like 35 years younger than I am, and I don't know what to do about it. It's not good. Well, I don't like it.
I'm gonna go ahead while the StreamYards resets. We'll go ahead and let Kevin in so that we can get started with him. So go ahead, and Kevin, you should be able to unmute now.
Hey Rob, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man?
I'm okay. I'm in a toy mood because watching that little stream with Az this morning was pretty cool.
Yeah, but back doing the what toys.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of questions or anything, but so I was going to show you. He beat me to it, but there it is.
Oh, you built it. Oh,
yeah.
I gotta see. Wow, that's dope, dude.
Yeah, and it comes with a little Ayrtonson minifigure. Yeah, so I figured some of your gearheads would like that. That's one of the few Legos that I get anymore. Are kind of all the race cars. I love racing. I'm into race cars and stuff like that.
Well, I love F1. I'm getting a 1/8 scale John Player special Lotus F1 car that I'm building. Although I haven't gotten pieces in a while. Because when I grew up, I collected die-cast Formula One cars. I love Formula One cars because they look like spaceships to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love this stuff. I don't watch Formula One as much. It's kind of boring right now. I mean, the guys that really know it kind of understand where I'm coming from. I love endurance racing, a lot of the GT cars.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I actually, I left it up there. I have one of those Playmobiles. I have a GT3 Porsche. And when you mentioned the Ferrari, the Magnum PI Ferrari, it made me think of that. And the lights light up on it, and it's pretty cool. It's about the same size, I think, as the Ferrari.
Yeah.
I missed out on the Ferrari. I think it's gone up quite a bit in price now.
Right.
I kind of missed on that. But then one of the I tried to scale about 1/6 scale. This one's more like a 1/12.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So this one's Tarzan. And I'm gonna try
that's
to
really
put
nice.
I'm gonna try to cover this up or something. This is a real piece of wood from the beach.
Wow.
So we just yeah, I got that. And then what I'm working on a Robert Reynolds Century right now. That one's it's drying back there. And then the next one I just started printing is Iron Fist. I don't know if you can really
pull it back a little because it's out of focus.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because 3D printing is getting so sophisticated now. Like, I was talking on Az's show about there's a guy called 3D Trekker on Etsy.
Yeah, I heard you saying that.
Yeah, he prints, his stuff is amazing. I only have one of his pieces, which he printed Q's throne. And I love my chairs, but he's printed an entire 6-scale classic Enterprise. Does it in color? I mean, you can still tell it's 3D printed, but it's like the black isn't solid, but it's still it's really amazing. And he uses magnets to put everything together. But if you want the whole bridge, it'll cost you like 12 grand.
Wow.
So
the only thing that I do, I haven't.
Now, where do you get the print? Where do you design them yourself, or do you download them?
I download them. I eventually I would like to get to the point I can do some really basic 3D models because I can animate, so I know how to do the basics, but I haven't graduated to where I want to do it yet. But that's eventually what I want to do. The one thing I don't do is I still do the FDM. I don't do the resin printing. The resin printing is probably better for statues because you don't get the thin lines. But it is a little bit more work. And people that are really good at it, they know they probably don't make a big deal out of it, but it's a little bit more toxic. You have to clean it. You have to be a little bit more careful with it. This stuff it's not nearly as toxic. I just grab it and sand it. The resin, you have to cover up and do a lot of stuff. You have to kind of print in a very open air kind of area and stuff like that. So that's the only thing. So some of like the trooper here, because it's painted white, I have to sand it much more because with white colors, you're going to see the lines. And since I'm not selling them, I don't really care that much. It's just for me and my own, what I want to see. But yeah, most of them have turned out like I have a Batman animated series up there, and the blacks and the grays, you can't see any of the lines in it. But I'm not going to get them down because I've already broken them twice. So
it's I mean, the thing about the lines, like in the Enterprise, I don't mind the lines. I mean, it's and if you wanted to, theoretically, you could, like on the stuff from 3D Trekker, you could use a primer and then paint over it.
I use a primer, and then for some of them that maybe like for this trooper, for some of the one of my other ones, the Scout Trooper, for like stuff that I really want smooth, I used that automobile primer that it fills it in. And it's a little thicker. You lose a little detail, but for the most part, it works pretty well.
I just see this guy prints everything in color, so he does a really good job.
Oh, so he uses so he prints. See, I want to paint everything. So
he
just found us. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's the stuff he makes is amazing. I mean, what's incredible, I just am surprised at how much you can print anything now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you pretty much.
I mean, I see people printing giant Battlestar Galactica models and stuff, and it's totally rad what people are doing, and I'm blown away by it. I mean, that's
all I wanted to share. Oh, I've been wanting to show you this. This is, I don't want to get too personal, but this is I got this.
I won't tell.
No. This is we got this when my son graduated. This is his club volleyball team, and the coach got them all bobbleheads for all the guys that were moving on, and they are totally that.
Wow.
And this is exactly pretty much what my son looks like.
That's really cool, though. That's
I mean, and it's so detailed. They even put Nikes on them.
With those are
black socks.
That's awesome.
Because that's what my son wore. And if I can't get it close enough, but you can see his teeth. You can't see it. His teeth are just like his teeth, where he has like the little
like your teeth.
Yeah. And so,
Man, I
yeah,
want some of those. How'd you get those? Do you have to pay for those, or they just came
yeah,
genetic?
That's
That's just good genetics.
yeah. My son is he sucks. He's a good looking boy. Is
he in college now?
Yeah, he's the one at Penn State.
Right. Okay.
He is the one that he gets tanned. He's blonde hair, and
looks like a surfer.
He has floppy hair like that, and he gets my wife's genes because she's Latin, so and I'm the white boy that doesn't tan, and I lived in California my whole life, and I'm just red, and I can be outside every day like I am, and I don't tan at all, except I get a red forehead. I go surf and just
I was out on the beach last week because I was in San Diego for a writers.
I saw that, and I was like, that is correct. That is why we live here.
Oh, it was unbelievably beautiful there. We went down for this, right? I wanted to see Ed Zwick, the director who directed things like Glory and directed Last Samurai and created 30-something. He was speaking. He has this new book out. So I went down with the director of White Devils because he and I have been working together a lot on finishing.
Oh, and by the way, it is
White
raining.
Devils.
It's been raining all day here. So
wow.
I'm about 4 hours north of you on the coast. So yeah, if it's hitting me, it's going to get you here soon.
Damn it! I've got leaks in the observatory. It's pissing me off.
Oh, better be careful. Yeah, it's been raining. It's been raining pretty hard all morning, and it's supposed to rain through, I think, till noon tomorrow. So just letting you know.
Damn it! Let me see. What does it say? When do we get the rain? Rain up 9 to 10. That's all it says. It's going to rain at 9 to 10. So maybe it's going to miss us. Most of it. Well, it's going to be a couple hours of rain anyway. Damn it. Janet.
All right. Well, thank you, Kevin.
All right. Good to see you.
Good to see
Always
you.
good to see you.
We have another super chat here. Let me just go ahead and bring it up from Vegas Robocop, $4.99. Thank you so much. Rob, you mentioned one John F. Green the other night. Do we know how he is doing? We have crossed paths more than once, sir.
Oh my God. Okay. So wow. Okay. So when I was growing up, like in the 80s, there was no internet, and I wanted to find I built a lot of model spaceships, and there was a guy named John F. Green who had like any kit you wanted. He had Japanese models, some Space Battleship Yamato, but he had a lot of older model kits. And I bought stuff from him. Now, he was ridiculously expensive. I mean, relatively speaking, when I was younger. Nowadays, I probably wouldn't care, but ridiculously expensive. But he was like there was no eBay. And I will say this, I mean, he put out these newsletters, and he was very communicative, and everything I ever bought from him was in great shape, and he knew he knew his stuff. But it's one of those things where I hadn't thought of him in 25 years. And for what I talked about, I've talked about him like 3 or 4 times in the last year. Because it's one of those things people look at you like, first of all, I have one friend, my friend Jeff Bond, who's an author. He has hundreds of spaceship models. They're all in his garage. He's on Instagram as the Lazy Modeler. He's a great modeler, but all he does is build spaceships. I love I've been to his house in a couple of years. He's amazing. I only have a few things that I've got that are like, I have my 1/72nd scale Millennium Falcon that I spent 6 months painting. And the Partworks Millennium Falcon I'm building now that's like 4 feet long. I mean, I don't have time. I mean, like the last couple of weeks I've been so inundated with doing streams, and then doing the Nathan Heller stuff, and then doing White Devils, because I'm finishing up White Devils, waiting for the sound mix, but doing graphics and doing marketing and it's just been a bit insane. So, but I miss building models. But John Green, I used to buy these vintage, and he would have like the Moon Bus from 2001. Now they've repopped it. You can get everything now.
Sure.
But back then, John Green, I would look at his stuff and just salivate, like, and I don't know what happened to him. Like, but then again, I hadn't tried to buy something from him, for a long time. I just go to like Cult TV Man. But buying model spaceships was Such a weird. I was into very niche things. I'm like, I'd find, well, John Greenhouse spaceship models, and then there's nobody I would know. I don't know a person and any person that's ever known me would ever tell you who John F. Green was. But our friend here who's sending the super chat, thank you, would know. I mean, I've got my life is full of these ridiculously weird, like Q modeling. The guy from Q modeling who I got back into model rocketry like 15 years ago, and he was making upscale versions of my favorite Estes model rockets. I was buying everything, and then he just disappeared, like because he got old or maybe he passed away. I have no idea, but man, I'd like to get more of his rockets. Nobody else would care. People would be like, what?
Yeah, it was Vegas Robocop who mentioned him. So thanks for the.
Well, thank you, Vegas Robocop. Knowing John F. Green makes me happy because you and I are the only ones. But there was someone else. There was someone else that remembered John F. Green. They're like, So
all right, we got the End Pod coming up. Welcome the End Pod.
Hello,
what's up,
Robert.
man? I love hearing your erudite voice. When I hear you, I feel smarter.
That's good because I hear my own voice and I can only say it decreases my intelligence by the word. I feel like and sooner or later there won't be any left.
See, we in America are conditioned to believe that anyone that has a British or UK accent of any kind is smarter.
I wouldn't believe that.
Irish and Scottish people too.
I'd probably keep the time of the talking to 5 minutes because anything after that, you'll reach a threshold and then it will dismay that myth. So well done.
That's not true. Not true.
Oh dear. I would like to give you a little anecdote of what's been going on with me, if that's okay.
Lay it on me. You know, every person has a story to tell.
Well, it's a tale of woe, Robert. So get the Kleenex out. It's not a very good one. Nobody's hurt, but still, it was no less shocking. So, after the Oscars on the podcast, we started taping loads of episodes. I had a big catalogue of stuff to edit. We did some classics like Gotham Central. We did. I
don't like where this is going.
Yeah, Dan Slott's Silver Surfer, and we did Brian Michael Bendis's Alias. And we started lining up creator interviews. So we had.
I love Brian Michael Bendis's Alias. I have the omnibus.
Yeah, it's great. The only thing with that, okay, I'll get back to that. So we lined up creator interviews. We had Dennis Hopeless on, and he said, "No, it's a pleasure to be back." The last time we spoke to you, he said the first thing he said to his girlfriend afterwards was, "That was the best interview I've ever been on." He said we seemed really well researched. I was like, "Wow, that's amazing!" Like it's just good to hear that someone.
Oh no, I love how you're teeing this up very well. You're gonna. I'm already starting to cry because I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. And then after it took ages to get hold of her, and it's one of my favorite creators because she came into Marvel prominence as I started reading again in 2015. We had Kelly Thompson, did loads of research, and then the good thing about the Dennis Hopeless one is I said, well, we're struggling to find email addresses for people. He says, not to worry, like just send me a list and if I've got the emails. Everything was going well, Robert, until last week, my hard drive completely wiped. I've lost all those episodes, but I'm also self-employed as a structural engineer. I've lost 10 years worth of design.
No, wait. Can't you have somebody recover that data?
Well, that's what I'm currently working on because Apple Care, they couldn't find it anywhere. It's completely gone from the cloud. It's completely gone from a.
How can that?
Oh, dude, it's such a precise and certain series of events that led it to being taken away completely. When they set my cloud up, I knew it wasn't being done right. But like maybe it's my Britishness, but I was just I didn't want to go. Look, can I just have somebody else, please? Because I just don't think this is being done right. And then boom, all gone. I'm sorry. I know.
Got to back everything up. I know you know that.
I know that. My problem is.
That's what everyone goes. You tell somebody a story, it's like, well, didn't you back it up? Like, if I did, I wouldn't be telling you this story, would I?
Exactly. Yeah. The happy ending doesn't really fit the build up, but it's happened now. I took a couple of days off to just reset, and it is what it is. It's just yeah. But if we double back to the Alias, the Brian Michael Bendis series, what I couldn't believe, because there was about 6 or 7 like small procedural private investigator stories, And the weakest one out of them all was the Purple Man one, in my opinion, anyway. It kind of seemed like
I liked it though,
but it didn't tell the story. It felt like there was something I should have read before, like it was all sort of
oh yeah,
to an event.
I would say, yeah, I agree with you. Yep. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, and I thought they could have actually told that story, but then teased little bits of it throughout instead of it didn't feel earned because you just kind of were given the impression that she was just a bit of a Mardy fucker, and that was just her kind of persona because she drinks too much and all the rest of it. It's going to make you miserable. But yeah, if they could have just teased little bits of purple throughout it, or maybe she wakes up from a dream at some point and there's just the Purple Man, and it trusts the readers to not know but to trust in the story. And also kind of like when he breaks out of the raft, even that was, well, how did he get out? Oh, somebody else broke out and he just walked out.
Right.
Well, but don't worry, somebody else is, but he's back there now. I'm like, well, why did you bother with the previous page? Like, why break him out? Just put him back 2 pages later. This just, so, but on the whole, it's a really, really great character-based tale. To the extent where when that not just the primary characters of Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, or Ant-Man, even all the tertiary and secondary characters immediately have a voice. And I think it's almost perverse that Bendis, one of the biggest Bendis criticisms is he struggles to find voices for characters, and his dialogue's a bit hacky. But I think when you get to that level of prestige, you're just there to be taken.
Yeah, of course. Of course. No, I know that a lot of people are Bendis detractors, but when I first started Alias, that's got to be 25 years old, 20 years old, something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be. I think it's about 2000, 2002.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 25 years old.
I think it was the first Mac series that came out.
Right. Yes. And then it's interesting because before Marvel went to omnibuses, they just put out hardcovers. And I had the first Alias hardcover, and then they put out the omnibus. I mean, I look around, like I've got all the Ultimate X-Men individual hardcovers, but now they're releasing the omnibuses. And it's so funny because like I have my computer stand. I don't even know if I should admit this, but I have old Marvel hardcovers that I've bought the omnibus versions, like the Mutant Massacre hardcover. And I have the Mutant Massacre hardcover there because I bought the Mutant Massacre omnibus, which has more stuff in it. So, and I'm stacking my computer so it's a little bit above me, so you can't see my horrible double chin that I have to work out and get rid of. But I mean, I'm pulling. When you buy these omnibuses, I'm left with all these beautiful hardcovers. What do you do with them? Like no one's going to buy them from you on eBay because the omnibuses are better.
Yeah, I've got 20 long boxes just full of single issues that I can't bring myself to sell them all for like 5 pence each. Like,
you know what I did?
I just give them to somebody.
Yeah, when we were moving, people are gonna be like, "What?" I gave away 65 long boxes.
Yeah, you have to.
Because I pulled out a few. I was just looking at this, going, comics aren't worth anything unless you get them slabbed. And then if you're gonna get them slabbed, you should get them pressed, like Kevin, the comic doctor up in Canada, who's been on my show, who I adore. He's a great guy, great guy. He does fantastic work, but I'm like, look, and he's like, I'll even press your books free. And I'm like, no, but I'm like, well, maybe I should, get him slabbed. But I went through most of it's garbage. I hate to say it, but when you go back and you look at, like, I bought the DC series Sonic Disruptors, and they never even finished it. Rock and Roll in Outer Space. It was like a 12-issue. I used to buy every Baxter miniseries that DC put out. That DC Challenge when how is it gonna end? And I'm like, why the fuck did I even buy this? And I had it all. And I'm like, just take the long box, because I can't. I had so many comics that I'm like, I don't have enough time left on planet Earth to make me want to go through these and figure out what I have. And that's it seems sacrilegious. People are like, what? Kevin was like, you did what? I'm like, look, man, it's no one, unless you have a few keys that are worth money that you get pressed, which I did pull out a few keys. Okay. But for the most part, my comic book collection, 30 years of collecting comics, I did not buy comics that were good. I mean, I bought comics that I liked, but no one else would care about. You know, and what it's like everything else. I try and on my YouTube show talk about all these great movies, all from cinema history. Like All That Jazz is one of my favorite films. No one's going to watch All That Jazz anymore. And if they did, my audience wouldn't. Our audience, you guys, I mean, you guys would. People at the membership calls would, but most people wouldn't care. Like half the movies I want people to watch, they're not going to watch them. And I felt that way about my comic collection. I'm like, even I'm the only person that has 6 from Sirius because Paul Gulacy drew it. And I'm like, this is amazing. I love this. And I have 6 from Sirius too. By the way, I kept those. Nobody else cares.
You also kept that complete Atari Force collection, didn't you?
Because it's fucking awesome. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. I love Atari Force. I will, all 20 issues.
That's a great run. Yeah, I know. I'm a big fan of Atari Force.
I loved, if I could write my dream, one of my unfulfilled dreams is to write an ongoing comic book series. The comic book, if someone said, what would you want to write? It would be Atari Force.
Yeah.
100%.
It's got that total Guardians of the Galaxy type of vibe to it,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I love Jose. And you could still get Jose Luis Garcia Lopez to draw it.
Yeah.
Bring him back. Why not?
Talk about geek cred. I was playing the Dungeons and Dragons sci-fi game called Star Frontiers. And I built. I had Atari Force as characters. I took their characters builder and made my own versions with that of the Atari Force team.
I was in love with Dart.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't I meet? I drew. Actually, this is very funny. I still have it. I wrote a story about this girlfriend. One of my first girlfriends. We broke up, and I wrote a story about her, and I drew Dart as her on the cover of the short story that I turned in as a school assignment. I still have it.
Nice.
I was like, why can't I meet it? She's like a punk sci-fi goddess.
Yeah.
With white hair.
Yeah.
And that awesome spacesuit. Like, I want to meet her.
She was like a
total badass.
Yeah.
Oh, she was a badass. And people don't even know what that is. I'm like, you got Atari Force. Because you had there was 2 different there was the Atari Force comics that were like Martin Champion was a precursor in those comics, and then
was a mini comic that used to
in the games.
Yeah.
And so you had Martin Champion in that, but then it went to the DC series.
Yeah. And there was the father in the later series was one of the main characters in the mini.
Yeah, Martin Champion. He was the dad. Yeah.
He was Tempest.
Dude, I'm glad you and I can bond on the Atari Force tip because, man, nobody knows. It's so funny to have all this stuff locked away in your head. Like, because half the time you don't talk about it unless you have somebody that's engaging with, like John F. Green.
Yeah.
No one would know. And then Atari Force. No, but people are like, what? I'm like, Atari Force.
And
because the art was. The art was great.
The Atari console. It was an actual licensed. They licensed the Atari brand name and built this.
And but then when they did the comic series, they spun it off. But that's why you can't do it because they don't have the rights anymore.
Right.
And all those characters are kind of lost to oblivion. Yeah. I've often wondered if you could go to Atari and get the license just to do. I should call Roy Lee just to do the comics.
Yeah.
And go write them and have DC publish it again.
And I remember there have been attempts to reprint those and they stall. Like I hear about them getting reprinted and then something.
Yep.
Atari has switched so many hands that I think that's been part of the issue too. Is that people don't even know where the rights are for some of the things and stuff.
Yeah. Well, because I've got my comics and I've filled out like forms to do this like 6 times to send them in and get them bound as a hardcover because you can get a dust jacket made and all that. And it's like it would cost $100, but totally. I mean, omnibuses are $100. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And have my Atari Force comics as a hardcover.
We have a couple of super chats here. Unlimited Power, $1.99 says RMB. I sent you pics of my Mego apes.
I am looking at them right now.
Great.
And I will show them on my next observations, which might be tonight or tomorrow.
And then we have Jay, who sends $5 saying, thanks for the great show and all the fans here asking great questions. Also, what double chin? You've aged like good wine. Happy birthday.
Why? Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't have 69 days of sobriety like Irene Jobson does, because if I did, I'd be celebrating it in the proper way.
Now, I got a request from Brian Erdy, who was at a con, to see if he could come in ahead here. So let me go ahead and see. Brian.
Oh, okay, Brian.
Are you here, Brian? There he is. So let me go ahead and unmute you. Hold on a second, because I just pinned you, but I want to make sure I unmute you. Welcome, Brian.
His
How's it
book's
going?
great. What's going on, man?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, 5 by 5. You sound great. You look great. All good.
I am hiding
You
away.
handsome devil.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm hiding away in the parking garage so I could get to a quiet area to chat.
Ah. Well, what convention are you at?
Steel City Con, right next to the Monroeville Mall in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh my God. For those of you who don't know, the Monroeville Mall is where they shot Dawn of the Dead. I've always wanted to go. When I've only been to Pittsburgh once in my life. I was actually there with Brian Singer, and I'm like, dude, can we go to the Monroeville Mall? He looked at me and was like, why do you want to go to the Monroeville Mall? I'm like, you want to go there too? And I told him Dawn of the Dead was shot there, but it's like an hour away. We didn't have time to get away. And I was like, God damn it.
It's pretty cool. And when they do Days of the Dead at the Monroeville Mall, they do a tour.
I know.
Amazing.
I was going to go there like when they did the 40th or whatever. And
So, first off, thank you for playing my Office video week
Oh,
before
did you like
last.
that? I love that Office video. It was great.
Yeah, got lots of fun feedback, so I appreciate that.
Well, thanks for sending it in. I love when, look, I played that Mad Max video. These guys made that. I love when people send me cool, well-produced videos. I'll just play them. Why not?
Why not?
Play them. I mean, that was actually a beautifully made video. You did a great job. Well done.
Thank you. So I'm going to
Very high production values.
Oh, well, when I a year ago, it's been a while, but when I heard you invite people to do, videos of their collections, I was like, hold my beer. And I was like,
yes.
I'm going to do this, right? I had it professionally shot, professionally scored. I was like, I'm going to do this stuff. I'm going to do this.
I like the fact, it's funny. Your video made me, I wish I could think like you, because you've got all these things that you love, but they're like contained, they're managed. It's like, this is a very curated collection that relates back to, whereas my collection of stuff is just so haphazard. I want to have it pared down the way you've done it. You've got all these really great pieces and it's very well done. It's very curated. It looks nice. I aspire to do that.
Well, thank you. And it was a lot of work, but I was pretty happy with how it turned out. And I'm pretty happy with the loot I've gotten here at Steel City Con.
Oh, what'd you get?
Okay. I've never seen this available before, but I picked up all 6 of the McDonald's Star Trek The Motion Picture Happy Meal
God.
boxes.
I've wanted to get those. That's a score. Those look like they're in mint condition too.
They're beautiful. The bag's filthy, but the pieces themselves, they're perfect.
Yeah, I mean the bag can be. Who cares? Wow.
Yeah, who cares? I picked up. I'd seen this announced, but I didn't get around to order it. But a dealer had the Children of the Corn 2-pack with Malachi.
Nice. Oh, you got to get that.
Yeah, got to get that.
And by the way, nice. You've got the Thing shirt on.
Yeah, I
well
met
done.
John Carpenter today, and he was just like, "Okay, I like your shirt."
He's so funny. He's so cantankerous.
He's like, nice shirt, but I didn't get any money for it.
Yeah. He loves. I mean, look, I understand it. He was not. I interviewed him once for Sci-Fi Universe magazine, and I think he really likes the adoration, but he's still, his whole life he had really early success, made a ton of money. When he went into the studio world, he was like, he'll tell you, in Europe they revere me, but here I'm a bum.
Well, but judging by the lines of Steel City Con, it's come full circle because people were there to meet him and everybody was having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 things I have to show you, one of them is John Carpenter related. The other one is I finally picked up the jaws, beaches are closed.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
You froze a little bit, but that's awesome.
And lastly, you've talked about how you love it, like with my book, when people just make stuff and they do stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a dealer here at Steel City Con that does maps of all your favorite horror things. I've got the map of Antonio Bay.
This is Stevie Wayne from KAB Antonio Bay. Wow, that's so cool.
It's really nice. It's flipped around on the other side, but I also got the Amity map, and it shows a little chart of where all the attacks happened, where the first barrel was launched, the second one. It's pretty cool.
You know, I haven't heard from him in a while, but one of the people I met on this show is Swack Props, and Swack Props made he made in the mouth one of the In the Mouth of Madness books that's from the movie. And when he sent it to me, a hardcover, but he also made the paperback covers that were cut apart and turned into the map.
Nice.
He sent me that, and Swack Props is a genius. And I haven't heard from him. I've actually, it's weird because when you have a YouTube channel, people watch you and then they go away for whatever reason. Maybe they hate me. You can't. They just hate me. They're tired of me. But Swack Props is somebody who sent me a lot of stuff, and he made, you can't really see it, but he made the Ninth Gate book for me from Roman Polanski's The Ninth Gate. I mean, his stuff is perfect. I mean, he makes paper products. He sent me Rorschach's journal. Elizabeth wanted him to make the book from Donnie Darko, and he sent her his artist proof of that. I mean, he's amazing. So to see maps, what a cool thing. Maps of, and I'm sure he researched it, so he figured out where everything was too. Like the lighthouse as opposed to the mini mart where the fog came in the beginning. That, by the way, that movie, the fog just gets better and better and better. Every time I watch the fog, it just gets better and better and better. It ages like fine wine. And the John Houseman, it gets me every time. That jump scare there's no reason why John Houseman is in that movie. I mean, but I love it. I love the fog and the score. It's one of Carpenter's best scores.
It's fantastic, and I love it. Not to beat a dead horse, but thank you again for playing my video. I'm out of time. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Well, have a good time. Enjoy the con, and don't spend too much money. But if that's cool shit like you're getting, get that, buy it. That's good stuff.
Great to see you, Brian, and enjoy the rest of the con.
Man, I'm gonna watch I got the Fog in 4K, dude. Is so good. I love that movie so much.
I need to rewatch it. It's been a while. I tend to always gravitate to the Kurt Russell trilogy of
I know.
The Thing, Escape from
New York, The Thing, and Big Trouble in Little China.
Right. That tends to be kind of my go-to John Carpenter, but I gotta get back on the Fog.
Well, the movie that I've been writing that I've wanted to make for 35 years would be the fourth movie in that.
Oh, really?
Viewing. Yeah, I mean, I even have the storyboards I had made. He's drawn into the storyboards.
Okay, awesome.
So, yeah, I've got my.
You know, they did a comic book series with the three characters got together.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it's
funny.
Hey, Bill Barkley just had a comment here saying, if you are going to be watching the Fallout TV series on Amazon Prime, apparently he says that it's been receiving great praise. And
I have to tell you, this is so I watched the first episode. I didn't know that Amazon dropped all of it at once.
Oh, okay.
So they dropped all of it. So I watched the first episode, which I quite enjoyed. I thought it was, I like it's beautifully made. I can't wait to watch the rest of it. I had a lot of fun with the first episode. I just didn't know when it was over, I turned it off. I didn't know that they had dropped all of them.
So they did the whole
apparently.
They didn't do the week-to-week thing. So
yeah, I mean, but it was good. I really liked it. But still, Shogun is my favorite thing that's running right now.
Yeah,
I watched Three Body Problem all the way through three times, and then I watched and Shogun.
Yeah, and have you been watching the second season of Tokyo Vice?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
and the funny thing about that is I read the book it's based on, and it's departed from the book, but it's still I love Tokyo Vice. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Hey, and there's somebody in the chat asking if they could have your email there on the YouTube chat. I don't know if you wanted to put your email there or what would be.
Yeah, I'll just give it here. My email is rmburnett, which is RMBURNETT 1701 at gmail.com. So there you go. And by the way, don't ever tell me you don't know what 1701 is. Yeah. Don't ever say that. But everyone who knows. So they know. I had an ex-girlfriend that was like, well, that's not very professional. I'm like, no one fucking knows what it is. Only you know what it is. It's like, I mean, I have other professional emails I use too. Yeah. You can get me at rmb@icu.co if you want. That's my business email, so don't send it to me. Don't send me anything there unless it's business related.
We got Pedro Ferreira coming up next.
Jeff Bingham says lots of scripts coming. Jeff, I'm trying to get together with Jeff to talk about his script, which is very interesting. His script is I'm very surprised by his script. But I haven't been able to do it. Like the last 2 weeks, all my spare time has been going to these projects. Yeah, as you can see, because I keep getting new artwork and stuff. And my only respite was going to San Diego with Gabe. And we were in a car for 3 hours, and all we talked about is White Devils.
Well, we got Pedro here. Welcome, Pedro.
By the way, I'm going to have a screening of White Devils. We're going to do a member stream where I show members of this channel White Devils.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You guys will be the first people to see it.
Cool.
So you don't have to like it, but you'll be the first people to see it.
All right. Welcome, Pedro.
Pedro's going to ask me why haven't I read his Ghostbusters review yet? But I'm going to read it.
Are you going to read it? I was just wondering if you were going to read it.
I'm going to read it. It's just long.
But that's why I was wondering. Would you read it because it's long?
No, I'm going to read it. I just haven't read it yet.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I was just wondering. Yeah. I was going to ask you that, but I was just wondering if it was too long to read out. Okay.
Yeah. You wrote it. It's worth reading. I mean, I read so many long things. I have no problem reading it. It's interesting, especially coming, from you. And I thought I liked it, actually. I thought it was a good review. I mean, I liked that. I thought it was very interesting. It's worth sharing.
You've read it already.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was just going to round up and say, I think that it's has more action than the original, than Afterlife, but the problems are systematic with Afterlife and modern films in general. I feel.
I agree, and that's why I think your article or your review touched on a lot of those things, and that's why it's worth. It's not just a review of Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters, but it's also you bring up a lot of great points about modern filmmaking.
I had to. When I wrote the review, I had to basically talk about, because it's a sequel to Afterlife, I had to talk about Afterlife. That's why the review is a bit long.
Right.
Yeah. But have you seen the film?
I did.
What did you think of it? It's not. I don't think it's as bad as people like.
I don't think it.
Afterlife.
I don't think it's. Here's the thing.
Like I thought Afterlife was worse.
To me, Ghostbusters is a one movie franchise.
Yeah.
I love the first movie, but I understand why I hate it. Ghostbusters 2 came out in the summer of '89, which was to me just one disappointment after another. It was one franchise movie.
I did answer Roberto's thing about the Ghostbusters 2, about how they forgot about the Ghostbusters. I did answer that in the review about that. Frozen Empire actually makes that mistake worse than Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think was a problem like Roberto said it was. But so I'll defend Ghostbusters 2, but Frozen Empire actually makes it. They actually forget details about Ghostbusters 2 in Frozen Empire.
Yeah. Yep. I know.
Yeah.
I was not. It was. I mean, the film was fine.
I actually forgot, like, I actually forgot after I watched the movie. I totally forgot until I remembered it was the anniversary, and that was actually supposed to be not just a sequel, but the anniversary. Like it was supposed to celebrate the anniversary. And when I wrote the review, I quickly added onto it after I finished writing it. I quickly went back and added that they needed a bigger budget. Like I'm not someone that like I'm really like, this goes against everything I normally say, right? What I'm about to say, I don't normally say this, but Frozen Empire needed more money than it had.
Yeah, it did.
It needed, it wasn't a big budget movie like the original Ghostbusters. For a 40th anniversary movie, what they really needed to do was really mine the entire franchise, like mine the like do a multiverse movie or something like that, or they could have really went ambitious and gone crazy with it and done something really special, but they really limited themselves due to the budget.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's weird because we're now living in a world where franchises, you had Ghostbusters 2, the animated series, the video game. I mean, there was all, to me, it was a franchise that already ran its course. And then someone decides, oh, we're going to make, Jason Reitman's going to be like, I'm going to make Ghostbusters Afterlife. And it's like, look, sometimes franchises should be allowed to end because they're products of, and now we're living in a world where, because people who work in Hollywood are basically dumb, bereft of any ideas, that like resurrecting a 40-year-old franchise, you didn't see that in the 80s. You didn't see 40s going, well, let's make Casablanca too. Well, that's not true. They did for TV, but I mean, then no one's looking at 40-year-old properties and resurrecting them because the problem that nobody I think is when it comes to IP, like I always say, pop culture has a half-life, and people will go see a Ghostbusters movie, but the problem is it has nothing to say. At the time when Ghostbusters came out in 1984, it had a really fun take on the supernatural.
Yeah.
Now, it was unique the way it was, and even though it was a comedy, we've seen that played out on many different levels from many different points of view. And so it's old hat. And all we're doing is living in the nostalgia of it all. And I just, who cares? If you had a Ghostbusters movie that had something to say about today, our world today, like from a more of a esoteric point of view, it might be worth, but nobody does. Everyone's like,
the sequel was all about how negativity and the kind of thing about New Yorkers basically treating themselves so badly that it was crazy. I mean, it actually holds a lot of value today.
I think so too. That my problem with Ghostbusters 2 is that they went with ILM, and ILM was over. They were taxed. I hate the effects in Ghostbusters 2. I hate the way it looks because you had Richard Edlund doing the effects in Ghostbusters 1, and they were all shot 65 millimeter. And they look incredible. The opticals are incredible. When you get to Ghostbusters 2, the look of the movie.
I think they were shot the same way though, because the effects they match.
No, the effects are shot in 35 millimeter. I can't even. It's hard for me to watch. When I sat in the movie theater and watched Ghostbusters 2 in '89, I couldn't even. I couldn't.
It seems to match.
Well, you have to understand. It's a totally different. They shot them totally differently. I can't watch. I was so pissed about the effects in Ghostbusters 2 when I first saw it. I'm like, I can't even hate it.
Well, you'd be more pissed with the new movies.
Well, now it's a whole different vibe. but that was another thing about Ghostbusters that I love was the way it was shot.
You know something about Ghostbusters 2. I know that Roberto's probably going to cut me off, but Ghostbusters 2, there's a lot of deleted scenes that still haven't been released on Blu-ray, and one of the deleted scenes, which is in the book, because the book is based off an earlier script.
Right, but that doesn't mean they shot the scene.
Maybe, but I'm wondering if there was a scene at the World Trade Center that they shot, because it's in the book. They might have shot it, but there's a World Trade Center where they go and visit a guy who's in the office, and he's shouting, complaining, and blah blah blah, and they want to they're wondering why he brought them in because stuff keeps combusting, like stuff keeps going on fire around him, like on his desk, like randomly combusting, and he's wondering why. And he's on the phone, and like he's quite rude to the Ghostbusters, and he's on this phone, and he gets so angry that his whole desk goes on fire, basically. And Ray basically says, "Sir, you are a fire hazard." And he basically he punches the guy out because he won't listen to reason. So that basically to stop him creating more fires, basically. So they bring him back to HQ with him. But the scene ends with them leaving, and then the camera pans or whatever to some place no one can see, and it shows pink slime dripping from the thing. So it shows that they're basically saying that his negativity caused the So it's quite a nice scene. So I wonder if they I'm
sure they probably didn't, because that location would have been expensive if they shot them going in New York. I mean, shooting in New York is a nightmare anyway.
Yeah.
But going to the World Trade Center,
the interior would have been LA anyway. So.
Yeah, but it still would have been expensive if they had an exterior. But that's they probably cut it out.
Yeah, let us know what you think of my review when you read it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pedro. Good to see you. My thing, Rob, it feels like with Ghostbusters 2 and now also with this latest movie, we continue to go back to the same stale idea of, the Ghostbusters are a
that's all.
Reckless, and it's all fake. And at one point, even the guy who was the EPA guy, who's now the mayor of New York,
Walter Peck.
There were no eyewitnesses, and I'm like, what do you mean there were no eyewitnesses? I mean, when I heard you talking about how what does it say about the modern day? Why don't you take the complete opposite approach? Why don't we have a mayor in New York that is like, we want to franchise the Ghostbusters, and it's all about the Ghostbusters becoming this complex, huge,
of course,
bureaucratic organization, right?
And not only that, once we know that if ghosts exist, there's an afterlife. So if there's evil and supernatural entities or powers, this idea that no witness, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was walking down the middle Fifth fucking Avenue or whatever. It's and when you're looking at this, it's like, okay, your script sucks, and the person who wrote it is dumb, because like you said, you go in the exact opposite direction.
Go the opposite.
What would the world look like when everyone knows that ghosts exist? There is an afterlife. How would that transform the planet, and where does that leave the Ghostbusters?
Yeah, and then you have somebody like Venkman saying, "Well, this technology is proprietary, so I cannot."
Yeah, well, how about the fact that other people? You would have every think tank on Earth building their own stuff. You'd have people that figured out how to go to the ghost realm to be able to go to where Gozer the Gozerian was from, and you could have done so many more. The problem is, in my mind, is that we live in a supremely uncreative. The only things we're getting now, people have to look back at, go, and they have only the most rudimentary ideas. It's so frustrating because you can tell, like, I watched Star Trek Discovery and I read this article, and it's all about this woman had clearly never watched Deep Space Nine. And I think a lot of people, and I don't begrudge anybody for liking something, but the reason that she liked Star Trek Discovery is because she was a Black woman. She said this in the article, and she looks at Michael Burnham as a role model. But the thing is this, I'm all for that. But if the stories aren't good, the fact that Michael Burnham is a strong Black woman as a character, that's great. But if you don't give her credible stories to inhabit, her character is not going, she's not going to endure the way Star Trek has endured for 58 years. Right. And you can't sit there and nowadays we live in a world where if people feel they're seen or they have a character they can identify with, that's enough. And I come from an old school story perspective. And by the way, I'll say the correct perspective, in that storytelling should be about everybody. You can make it specific. You can have the details, like Michael Burnham, I would follow. She's not a good captain. She is a wish fulfillment character. She is written as queen of the universe. She's perfect. And like, well, she mutinied again. Yeah, she mutinied. So the entire Star Trek Discovery show to me is fraudulent. And the problem with it is, I have no problem with a black female lead. I have a problem with bad storytelling.
Yeah.
And as a Star Trek tale, we don't even know about the woman who wrote this review couldn't even tell you who the bridge crew was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she can't tell you anything about a good captain. By definition means you have a great crew. When you watch The West Wing, you know those characters. Yeah, you know who the president is, but what was important was everybody. You know who CJ is. You know who Toby is. You know, you don't just know who the president was. You don't know that. You don't just know about Jed Bartlett. With Discovery, no one else matters. It's all the Michael Burnham show all the time.
To this day, we don't have a sense of who the stable, ongoing crew of the bridge.
Who's next other than Saru?
Yeah.
Who's next in command of? And yet now you have a woman. Well, you're a Starfleet captain, but be my first officer.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Hey, Rob, we're at the 2:00 mark, so I think before we have any more technical difficulties with YouTube, maybe we'll end the stream on YouTube here, and then we can continue the chat offline. So for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, remember you can become a member, and that way get the link when we hold these chats, typically twice a month.
And look out for the launch of the True Noir audio drama.
That's right.
We're crowdfunding it with Todd Stashwick in the lead role. You will be able to hear, I played it once on this member call, but you will be able to hear the 12-minute proof of concept to hear kind of what it is we're trying to do. It's a 10-episode series written by Max Allan Collins, who wrote Road to Perdition, based on his 19-novel deep series about Nathan Eller.
Yeah. And Rob, so when is the crowdfunding launching? The campaign?
I think April 22nd.
Okay.
I think.
So we'll keep an eye out. I'm sure you'll promote it on all your things as well. So, all right. Well, to everybody on YouTube, we'll say goodbye. But to those of you who are members and are in the member call, we will continue the conversation. So until next time. And Rob, you'll be back later tonight or tomorrow.
Tomorrow for sure, by myself, I guess. But then I don't know about later tonight. You know, I've tried to like stagger.
Yeah.
Do every other day for the live shows, only because so more people can watch them.
Sounds good.
But I might do one tonight. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, goodbye, everybody on the YouTubes, and the chat continues for the members. Take care, everyone.